so much book versus movie. So much. Are you ready?
Yeah, so much.
Okay, book versus movie. So first of all, they don't show us the troll or the potions. They don't show us those. In order of what?
Can we go back to the beginning?
Oh, okay, go ahead. Go back to the beginning.
They don't tell us anything about the tests. Like, literally, the end of year exams are one line in the movie where the three of them are walking and Hermione is just like, oh, that wasn't so bad. I heard that Hogwarts end of year exams were dreadful, but, and then the mom's like, speak for yourself, Hermione, right? That's all we get about the end of year exams. Whereas in the book, we get McGonagall's test is transfiguring something into a cat into a snuff box, and then Flitwick has his test is making a pineapple dance, and Snape's is a forgetfulness potion, and Binns' exam, like so many little details there.
Yeah, like they're super stressed out because it's fully exam time, and you don't get any of that in the movie.
Right.
Of course, there's no Peeves.
Of course, there's no Peeves, no fake Bloody Baron Peeves incident.
Nope. I'm trying to remember. Do they actually use the invisibility cloak when they go to the third floor corridor?
They do, I believe so.
In the movie? I don't remember.
I want to say they're actually running away from Filch. And no, that was the first time when they ran away from Filch and got into it. I don't remember either.
When they discovered Fluffy the first time.
Yeah. But when Harry grabbed his invisibility cloak and he grabbed the harp the flute that Hagrid made him for Christmas, that part is not in the movie either because they just use the harp that's bewitched that's there.
Yeah. It stops playing, and that's how they realize that the dog will wake up when it stops playing, because that's when the dog drops that big slobber on Ron's shoulder in the movie.
They did use the invisibility cloak because when the dog was huffing and puffing, the cloak flew off of them, didn't it?
Oh, yeah, I think the dog blew it off.
Yeah. So, one way or another, both in the book and the movie, the cloak, again, is left in that room. So, keep note.
So they jump down into the Devil's Snare, and another book versus movie moment. Yes, Hermione's the one. I don't know. The little jingle goes something else. Devil's Snare, Devil's Snare.
It's
something about
fun, but we sulk in the sun.
That. And so she like does some spell where it's like sunlight. It's not her blue flame. And it's a big flash of sunlight and they fall through the bottom of the plant. Whereas in the book, she uses her signature blue flames to let them loose, and then they go down like a corridor. So that's a book versus movie moment.
Yes,
then when they get to the flying keys, and you mentioned that too, like it's different in the book versus the movie, whereas in the movie, once they catch the key and go to the door, all the other keys come flying and they go through the door real quick, and then all the keys like slam into the door in the movie.
Yeah,
but that didn't happen in the book.
To attack them, like pelt them.
Yeah. And actually, if I can point out here, Hermione actually can fly. She just doesn't like to. This is one of the few times where you will see Hermione fly. In the book, not in the movie. I don't think she did in the movie. Because I think in the movie there was only one broom and Harry just did it on his own while they waited on the ground.
I think that he touched the broom. Like, it was interesting to me in the movie, it kind of depicts that Harry can sense the magic, that Harry can sense something kind of not okay, because he doesn't automatically grab the broom. He kind of hovers his hand over it. And it's very, to me, it was very reminiscent of future Dumbledore. And when we kind of get to know more about Dumbledore and his ability to sense when things are magical.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
Specifically, what Dumbledore says is magic leaves traces.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
So, it kind
so he's kind of cautious.
Yeah. So when I saw that hit, like Harry Potter kind of just being cautious about grabbing the broom, it almost felt like that too. Like he could feel that something was wrong. But yeah, that's another book versus movie moment. There's only one broom as opposed to there being more brooms in the room.
And that the keys attack in the movie and they don't in the book.
Right. But the chess, also in the chess room, there were some book versus movie moments. Ron doesn't ask the chess piece what to do. He just does it. He senses it.
There's already empty spots for them. And he puts them on the empty spots.
Yes.
And then he does play the game and he does get taken out. But he doesn't say, he says, in the movie, he says, it's got to be you, Harry. You've got to be the one to go on. And then in the movie, Hermione stays with Ron. And then when Harry goes through the other door, he's in the chamber because they don't do the troll or the potions in the movie.
Yeah.
And it's just Harry by himself because Hermione stays behind with Ron.
At the end of the chess game, when Harry wins, in the movie, the king has like a sword and he releases the sword to Harry to show checkmate. But
rather than taking the crown off and dropping it. Yeah.
So.
And then that whole conversation where he's like, you go back and you guys get brooms and you fly out and all of that. None of that happens. Because when Ron, actually, I think Ron does tell them he's going to have to get taken. And they're like, no. And he's like, I have to. There's no other move. When I'm done, Harry, you move whatever, 3 moves to the right or something like that. You'll put the king in checkmate. We'll win the game. And they're like, okay. And so, and in the movie, is it the queen? I don't know if it's the queen. I know in the book it was specifically the White Queen. I don't remember in the movie if it was, but whatever it was, thankfully it took out the horse because Ron was the knight, but he was on the horse. And so and she took out the horse. And when he fell, he knocked out. And immediately Hermione tries to run over and Harry's like, no, we're still playing. Right. And so they're both like looking at Ron like, ah! But Harry goes over, he wins the game, the king drops the sword, they run over and check on Ron first, and then Hermione's like, I'll stay here with him, you go, Harry. And so he goes through the door, and then that's the chamber that he walks into where someone is there who's not Snape or Voldemort.
Right. And
All right. Takeaways.